Welcome to Business Coaching Secrets with Karl Bryan. If you want to attract new high-end coaching clients, fill live events, and build a wildly profitable coaching practice where business owners pay, stay, and refer, you've come to the right place. In this podcast, Karl provides his keys to the kingdom for finding and signing high-paying clients and building the coaching business of your dreams. Here we go.
Oh, hang on. Actually, Isabelle, before I get going, your last name, Mercier?
Yeah, perfect.
Pronouncing it right? Yeah, that's, again, French-Canadian, no less, hey?
That's correct. Quebecer, purebred.
My best friend lives in Quebec City.
Nice.
You know, we grew up in Alberta, close to Calgary, a place called Cochrane.
Yeah.
And but now he lives in Lake Quebecois. Actually, he's coming to
That's good.
So cool. But anyways, okay, give me 2 secs here. Oh my God, 1 sec. Hey. Hope everybody's doing well. Great to have you here on Business Coaching Secrets. Karl Bryan coming at you. I have a dear friend with me here, none other than Isabelle Mercier. She is a no-nonsense dynamo, a best-selling author, 2 times TEDx speaker. She's got 2.5 million views. She's worked with over 500 companies, including A&W, Earls, IMAX Corporation, HSBC Investments, and she is one of North America's top business influencers. And recently, guys, if you've been reading my emails, I've been talking a lot about branding, so that's why this was so suitable. I asked Isabelle, will you come have a chat with me? And here she is. So Isabelle, without any further ado, how are you, my love?
I am on fire. This is an amazing subject, a subject that's near and dear to my heart. And I love following you and following your emails. You make me smile and often crack up every day.
That's my goal. I also managed to get a little bit of abuse in and amongst that. You crack up, and then somebody else sends me an email and says, why are you such a chauvinist jerk off, whatever. Anyways, it's all good. All part of the, a little bit of fun, right? You've got
Totally.
a huge follow. You know all about it. So tell me, we're going to get going here, Isabelle. So why is it, my first question I got a series of questions. Hope you don't mind. I'm going to fly us through this. But why is it that I saw you wrote something somewhere where you said that 6% of business owners never make it to 6 figures? Could you tell me that reason?
Yeah, you know what? Nobody wakes up one morning, right, and go, you know what? I want to build a business that is going to get me to feel overwhelmed, overworked, and undervalued. Everybody wants to create more impact, right, and have more freedom for themselves and help more people, and of course, not have such a low ceiling of money generation. But truly, it doesn't mean that you're amazing at building websites or amazing at communicating and writing or coaching someone, that suddenly you will have the business architecture that's needed to actually not only grow, but start leveraging a little bit, right? So most small business owners are really, really, really good at something or a few things, but they don't have the architecture that's necessary to actually systematize the predictable so that they can maximize the exceptional.
Love it. So, what would you say? What's the difference between branding, positioning, and marketing then?
Well, branding is understanding. A lot of people think branding is a logo and a website and a product. And although, of course, as you know, without a logo, without a product, without a website, are those things obviously important to a brand? Yeah, of course they are. But a logo only matters as a trigger, a visual trigger, and it only matters if the company behind it actually means something to you. So branding is understanding and owning. The owning part is key here because a lot of people can understand but not own it truly. But it's about owning what you do, what makes you different, why should people care, what problems you solve, and for specifically who. Understanding that information leads to the essence of who you are. Then it can inform the look and feel. But a lot of people start with the look and feel. They don't have clarity around what makes them different. Why should someone hire them instead of Joe? And they think that a logo or a cool website is going to actually do that for them, unless the things are written and you're able to communicate why I should pick you instead of someone else. You don't have a brand.
I love it. So could you give me an example of a company whose, their branding, positioning, and marketing impresses you?
Oh my God, there's so many that do impress me. I'll tell you what, there's a company in my neck of the woods. I believe they're called Pope and Sons. This is my first physical property. So before I was a renter, now I'm an owner. So of course I need Pope and Sons.
Love it.
I will tell you, the way that they are and the way that I see them and experience them is absolutely aligned. So what they promise, whom they are being while they are doing, and what they look like is in complete alignment. And I'm always in awe of companies small companies, right, that can actually reach that type of alignment, because so many don't. But I mean, and there's lots of brands that we know, like Apple, for example. And this is a brand that everybody on the planet knows. Their whole mission is to break the status quo, right? Like literally change the way we interact with each other through intelligent technology. And everything they do, how they communicate, what they look like, the experience, it's all very well thought through. And not enough small business owners or not enough companies have that type of clarity about what they do and how they do it better than anyone else.
I love it. Yeah, and that would speak to widely. To say that Apple is reasonably successful would be like one of the world's greatest understatements, eh? But I would agree. But branding, positioning, and marketing, I thought you might go to them, but yeah, I think Apple, they absolutely crush it. Okay, well then follow on to that. So let's talk positioning and differentiation.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Perfect. So first of all, part of having a strong brand is being able to be differentiated. You can't have a unique brand without a strong differentiation. And a lot of companies or small business owners, like coaches, for example, coaches are a great example to give, because everybody's got a similar methodology for coaching, and key differentiation cannot be I'm better than someone else, because you know that you might be better than someone else, but of a non-trained client eye that's shopping around for the best fit, they won't understand that you're the best or that you're better than the other person, unless you have a clear way of tipping the point, having a tipping point that gets people to go, holy shit, where have you been all my life? So for example, as a coach, right, you can't say, I'm going to give you 2 coaching sessions a month and I'm going to help you grow. I mean, that every coach can say that. Do you have a different methodology, a unique proprietary way of a methodology, a formula, something that actually helps you better communicate what you do and really help people understand that, oh my God, here's why I'm good, here's what I do, here's my unique methodology and my unique approach. Then that becomes not only a proprietary, unique differentiator, but it also connects with the person's feel and personality. Because sometimes, you'll hire someone because of their badassery, but that's part of their brand. That's part of their personal brand. So the differentiator can be qualitative and or quantitative. And the more you're able to take the untangible and make it tangible through positioning and through differentiation, magic happens.
I love it. So once again, could you give me an example of somebody you could think of that is doing this well?
Around positioning, absolutely. Let me just grab my files in my head here. Who's a great example of someone that positions? Um, I'll say
I don't mean to put you on the
actually.
spot, but yeah, you know what? I'm just wondering because
Well, I love it. I
I
love it.
agree totally how important it is, and differentiation. Like I said, you just talk coaches. You know, like one of the things that we'll do, like coaches that work with us, what we do, we train them on how any business owner. They can find any business owner $100,000
That's
in
right.
45 minutes without spending a dollar on marketing or
Exactly.
advertising, and
And
we back it
truly,
up with
that's
software.
precisely where I was going. I was actually going, hey, you at the bottom of every of your email, there's a very clear methodology, a very clear system that differentiates you from any other coaches. And that's a great way of taking something intangible that someone could talk about it intangibly and suddenly turn it into a massive tangible.
Yeah. Agreed. So then talk to me about what about competitive edge? So like I think actually I read somewhere you refer to it as money making edge, but like
Money
talk to me about
making edge.
competitive edge.
Yeah, competitive edge, money making edge. I mean, this is all around understanding that you cannot be everything for everyone. In one of your recent emails, you're talking about contracting and focusing rather than expanding. And that truly gets you
Yeah.
a money making edge. You cannot be known for 17 million things. You have to
Yeah.
pick a lane because you can travel on many different highways in a lifetime, but you can't be on two highways at the same time. So
Yeah.
understanding what problems you solve, how you're going to solve that problem for a particular group of people. I'll give you an example. There's a company in the Vancouver region called Provident Security.
Yeah.
Provident Security, they're a security company, and they figured out that every other security company on the planet really were completely over promising and under delivering. Because when your alarm rings at home and there's a burglar in your house and your life is in danger, police response time is between 2 to 2.5 hours, which is you could have time to die or, serve dinner to your perpetrator 5 times. The very company that you're paying for your keypad and your security, they have a call to you within a few minutes, but their physical response time to your place is within half an hour to an hour and a half. Again, might I repeat that you could completely die. So their positioning, their competitive edge or their money-making edge is they've created a 5-minute response time. They're very clear that there needs to be a physical human being at the premises when there's an alarm within 5 minutes. So they've had to reorganize their systems and procedures and ways of working because they need to deliver on that 5-minute promise, which has become their money-making edge. As a result of that, they're the fastest security company growing in BC. And their ads, if you look online, if you look for an ad, it's most likely going to say, "Are you paying enough for your security company?" And that's a
Are you
great.
paying enough?
Pardon me?
Are you paying enough?
Yes. Are you
Oh, I
paying
love it.
enough for your
Oh, I
security
love it.
company? Yeah, it's a great positioning, right? Because you get what you pay for, and they're the only ones. And from the same token, that money-making edge, why it's not just a promise and it's become a money-making edge, is as a result of having proper systems and having people within 5-minute radius of all of their clients. If I'm a client of them and I'm going out in a bar on a weekend or somewhere where I want to go back to my car, chances are they have a 5-minute response time for where I'm at. So when I'm a client, I can actually phone them for more than just an alarm ringing in my house. So they've actually given me and their clients more services as a result of elevating their industry and creating a promise that is so strong that it's become their money-making edge.
I love it. Good stuff. Yeah, I would think of Starbucks when you talk about, competitive edge positioning. Starbucks is one that comes to mind. When I wrote an email about, branding and whatnot recently, I just used Chevrolet as an example. And Chevrolet really don't represent anything in the eyes of the consumers because they've got, the Chevy Bolt, they got the Chevy Blazer, the Chevy this, the Chevy that, the Corvette falls underneath Chevrolet, right? So like
Yeah.
they really don't represent anything, so they get nothing in the eye of the consumer. But whereas Starbucks, if you really think about a quote unquote coffee shop back in the day, they sold pancakes, they sold sandwiches, they had Chinese food a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
It's a coffee shop with Chinese food, right? Who would have thunk? But this is what they had.
Totally.
Basically got everything. And then Starbucks, actually, Howard Schultz, he went to Europe, came back, and he said, oh my gosh, well, why don't we actually just create coffee shops that actually sell coffee and only coffee? And lo and behold, apparently it's worked out pretty well.
It has worked out pretty well.
$0.2 billion, nothing serious. But I love that. So you're just talking about, doing less as opposed to doing more. Whereas I think the average business owner gravitates toward more products, more services. And in actuality, if you look at the most successful companies in the world, you mentioned Apple, we just mentioned Starbucks, they do less, right? So very, very cool. And I love that example of, are you paying enough for your security? That is absolutely gold.
That is.
Well, tell me this.
Sorry, you
go.
said something earlier in one of your emails. You said too many businesses are me too or me better. And that's precisely what I'm agreeing with right now and going, be the first. Right? Be the first, be the only at something in particular, and you will thrive for sure.
I love it. Okay, so then what were you really talking about there is brand promise. So talk to me about, how do you create what's a brand promise and how do you create a killer one?
So a brand promise is your measurable accountability. It's the one thing that you will deliver come rain or shine. This is not something that you aspire to. This is something that, the people that you want to work with want and value, and it happens to be part of your genius or something that you're really, really good, or your team or your methodology is good at delivering. And it's what bridges genius with want and desire. So your genius with the wants and desires of your ideal clients. And for example, that Provident Security, their 5-minute response time in a fee of 2.5 hours is a great example. At Leap Zone, my company, we promise clarity, pivotal shifts, and momentum. No matter what I deliver, no matter who's coaching, no matter what we do, there will be clarity, there will be pivotal shifts, and there will be momentum. And these 3 things obviously provide tangible money in the bank, tangible results. So that's everything we do. My employees, my team, we always come from that particular angle. The 2 most important angles to come from when delivering service, customer service, and delivering your genius is your internal mission, which is not a mission statement. I will explain in a moment, and your promise. So the promise is your measurable accountability. Your internal mission is 1 or 2 words. Mission statements are good. They're good, shorter, the better. You had a bunch of examples recently in one of your emails. It's very important to have short, succinct, and a mission statement that is basically telling people what is the new normal that you're aspiring to create, right? That you want to create. The internal mission is 1 or 2 words of how you want to leave people feeling. I'll give you a great example of that. There's a company in Europe, an insurance company in Europe that, of course, as you know, as insurance companies, your house burns down, you better have your toes crossed and your fingers crossed that they're not going to find 1,000 loopholes not to give you the money that you need to rebuild. That company, however, because they have an internal mission of leaving people feeling wowed and delighted. So it can't be a big phrase, marketing phrase. It's got 1 or 2 words, wowed and delighted. As a result of that, they actually, and I forget the name of the company, but they send their clients. So if your house burns down or something, a flood happens, they send you and the family to your ideal vacation while while they work at making your life back on their feet again. So, but if you have a mission statement that's long and boring, nobody remembers, nobody knows, nobody cares. And if your internal mission, obviously it's about leaving people feeling a certain way, then when you're aligning everything you do and the intention of whom you are being while you are doing, you're going to become a force to reckon with.
Yeah, I love it. So, okay, something I like to talk about, Isabelle, is that like a mentor is somebody who can tell you what not to do. One of the biggest mistakes I see coaches make is always, lengthening a to-do list, or which basically just accelerates overwhelm that the business owner is already feeling. So
That's
I'd like
right.
you to talk to me, like, what are the biggest mistakes that you see business owners make around branding?
Okay, so a few that I see that are very, very prominent is one, not being clear about their brand DNA, right? About their
Yep.
true north, about their mission, vision, promise. All of that is absolutely key. Until you have that nailed, it will always be a chore to attract the right clients, and not only attract the right clients, but also engage them in working with you.
Yep.
Not having a killer 27 spokesperson to advocate for your brand. And by that, I mean intelligent, smart, engaging website. Because your website is a spokesperson, 24/7 spokesperson. And everybody makes so many mistakes on their website. They want to talk about everything under the moon, and they deliver everything in the kitchen sink. And that is confusing. And as you know, a confused mind does not take action. Right?
There it is.
Another
Yeah.
part would
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead,
Yeah, keep going.
Another one would be not having a proprietary methodology, right, or a unique way of solving a specific problem. Not again, the X factor. Not having that is a massive mistake, because so much money, I call it ghost money. So when someone does not have a clear tipping point in their business around, oh my God, going from I want to know about you to where have you been all my life, that tipping point is the X factor. Not having that clear creates a lot of ghost money. Ghost money is money that you should have earned, that people should have chosen you instead of someone else, but no, that money stayed in your prospect's pants or bank account, or worse, went to a competitor that is actually most likely less good at delivering than you are. Because I hear a lot of people go, I can't believe it. Some of the companies that I'm in competition with, they're not as good as we are, yet they get all the business, or they get a lot of the business. And that has to do with not having a proprietary, unique way of solving a problem and communicating that effectively. And trying to enroll everyone, right? I call this speaking to the whole jungle. If you go to a jungle full of animals and they're all kind of doing their own business here, they're taking care of their stuff. And then you go, hey, animals, I have something that you want. Animals are not going to look up, man. They're not going to. But if you go, hey, lions, I know that you want to feed your cubs every day, and I know that you're looking and hunting for food every day and you can't always find some. I happen to have a cave filled with food with just a little pedal that you can press on and open the cave. That's the key, is to first grab the people that you want to work with. You need to first grab their attention so that they can see you and hear you. You can't just start blah, 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 blah to everybody. Nobody's going to hear you. So that's another big mistake, branding mistake. And as you said in one of your emails recently, having too many offerings, not enough focus, that's detrimental.
Yep, love it. All right, cool. So, okay, I recently watched, in fact, I watched both of your TED Talks, but I watched one recently, and by the way, you're one hell of a storyteller. Very impressed.
Thank you.
Tell me, those TEDx talks, have they impacted your brand positively, or what would you say about that?
Tremendously, actually. And by the way, preparing for a TED Talk is a 4 to 7 month endeavor. It is certainly not for the faint of hearts. You cannot wing a TED Talk. It's very well rehearsed, very well practiced. They provide you with coaches, and I've learned a lot. Even though I've been a seasoned speaker for many, many years, I've learned tremendously from having the fortune to do 2 TED Talks. What I've learned a lot is, first of all, being in the wake of a brand that is so well known and so well respected, like TED and TEDx, has definitely positioned me even more as an expert in my industry. And if you watch both of my TED Talks, I don't talk about what we do in the first talk at all. I don't talk about what we do at all. I don't talk about what makes us different, because it's not, TED Talks are not about that. Even despite of not even mentioning any of that, insane the amount of impact, the amount of business, the amount of opportunities to speak on larger stages that has opened up for me. And so, yes, definitely being a TEDxer has been massively, massively good for me, my team, my brand, and for for me to help me fulfill on my mission, which is to impact 10 million entrepreneurs to live and operate by design rather than by default. And so that's propelled me forward for sure.
Oh, boom. I like that. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So, well, tell me, okay, you know how I do, we referenced it a few times here today, right? But I read a daily email and I call it one coaching thing. So I'm curious, if I were to leave you and you were to leave the audience and everybody listening with one thing to take action, what would you give them?
You know, I would say become your own very best client. And by that, I mean, you know, you spend a lot of time helping other people. And if you spent more time helping your brand and helping and elevating your business as you do with other people, your business and your credibility and your impact would be at a different level. So taking the time I put Leap Zone on my production board every week, every day. There's not a week that I don't put my own business on my own production board to look at things that can be leveraged better, elevated, tweaked, pivoted. And I craft and I work at my business, on my business, as much as I work with my clients. And that allows me to always pivot on my positioning and how I communicate, what I want to communicate and to whom. So giving yourself a chance to really work with a mentor, work with someone, work on your business to basically treat yourself as your own best $1 million client. And I guarantee you that results are going to be different.
I love it. I could not agree more. High five. In fact, that's I don't know. It wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting as your last one thing, but I got to tell you that putting your own business on your own board so that you're not just working on your clients' businesses, but you're working on your own. Because I do find that with coaches is that they, like, how often do you hear a coach saying that, you know, like, I'm really good at helping everybody else's business, but I suck at, you know, basically, you know, building my own, getting my own clients, et cetera. And it's a funny one. So, yeah, chucking it up there on your own board would make a heck of a lot of sense. In fact, what I encourage everybody to do is to make a world record week, you know, so again, to channel it. And one of the things that's very, very powerful, I think, and for everybody listening, they can make their own determination. But like I have a whiteboard and it's like, well, I don't do this now, but anyway, but a whiteboard, especially when I was coaching and I was really out there trying to, you know, make it happen and get, you know, snowball rolling. I had every single day I would write the number of coaching clients that I got. New coaching clients, and often that number was zero, right? Because a lot of the time it's lead generation and you're, you know, planning for events and that sort of stuff. So I would write zero, but every time I wrote a zero, it was like a stab in the heart, right? I'm like, oh my God. And it just motivated me. And lo and behold, guess what? I created, you know, more in sales. I got more consistent. And then I created my world record week, and then I had my world record month. And then I actually also did amounts. So if I signed up a client that say it's $1,000 a month, that would be 12 grand, and it was $2,000 a month, that would be 24 grand. But I plugged that up on my my board, and I created my world records. So
and
similar, I think what you're describing.
Totally. And the key with this is to focus on the vital few versus the trivial many, right? So spending time and investing time and looking at your own business, your own goals, your own elevations. And I always say to people, first, eliminate, right? Look at what you can eliminate. Then what you can delegate, because why would you invest to delegate something that could totally be eliminated, right? So eliminate, automate, delegate. That's the order in which I work, and I work on that on a regular basis. Eliminate first, automate second, delegate third, and create fourth. And that's what goes from being able to grow to being able to start to leverage, because that's the next step after growth, right? So.
I love it. Well, I'll tell you what, Isabelle Mercier, I knew that you were going to deliver, and you most definitely did. So thank you so much on behalf of everybody that listens to Business Coaching Secrets. we would all like to say thank you to you and to your genius. And for all of those you listening, thank you so much for coming to Business Coaching Secrets. So for today, that's all we got. So Isabelle, thank you so much, my love.
You're welcome. My pleasure anytime. And I love the way you communicate. So keep up the great work.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. Thank you so much. Okay, that's it for us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Karl Bryan built Profit Acceleration Software 2.0 to train business coaches how to find any small business owner more than $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. This becomes a business coach's superpower. So as a business coach, you'll never again have to worry about working with business owners that can't afford your high-end coaching fees. Check us out at focused.com.